One of the biggest skills that I think everyone who decides to pursue literally anything, even if they work a 9 to 5 job, the one skill that people should be able to increase and be a perfectionist at is how to learn to talk to people. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Dig Deep podcast. My name is Michael.
I'm Sage.
And this would be our first episode of our podcast. And we are primarily going to be talking about obstacles that both Sage and I have dealt with and are currently dealing with as we climb up the entrepreneurial ladder of our occupations, I guess you'd say, our current...
Construction and real estate.
Yep, construction and real estate. So
fast-paced, fast-growing, lucrative businesses.
Yeah. So my name is Michael, and I've been doing real estate for about 8 years now. I have a good amount of units. I don't have anything spectacular when it comes to some of the big gurus, some of the big guys that have over 200 units, 300 units, 1,000 plus,
Big numbers.
But I started with a single family home when I was 21, right actually before I was 20, when I was 20 years old when I started. And all the money that I saved in my normal 9 to 5 job, I put into my first house that I bought as an auction home. And after that, I had 2 good mentors with me that kind of taught me the ropes and explained to me how things should be progressing and how they should be run. And I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm still currently making a lot of mistakes. And that's what I love about it. And I've been doing it for 8 years now, and I've gotten a good amount of units. And just recently, which I think is a very big deal for me, is we just recently closed, recently being about 4 or 5 months ago, on a 13-unit apartment building, which is crazy to still say because I remember when I first started, I was buying single families. A duplex was crazy, dude. When I bought my first single family, it was $55,000. I felt like the world was going to end, dude. I didn't know how to do anything. I was still like Bambi, like walking like on ice, I had no idea what I was doing. But fast forward a couple more years and, here we are. We're talking about it and we're still progressing. I would still say I'm in the beginning stages of my my real estate life. And I think most people that are in real estate long-term can also agree to that. So this is kind of what the podcast is about, talking about our growth and what kind of obstacles we face. And then if we have any solutions for them, we'd like to discuss those and explain it to the viewers and explain it to ourselves a little bit more, kind of like verbal therapy.
Putting anything into words and not just a floating thought in your head. That puts a world of difference in it.
Yeah, man. So we want to be able to educate people and be able to explain situations that we've dealt with and are currently dealing with, and do the best job as we can doing that, but also being ourselves. We're not perfect. We're not a professional in any facet of any way. At least to my eyes. To most people, you're a professional. So go ahead and tell me what do you do, Sage? What's your life look like?
So I got into the trades early. I've been doing construction since I was 19. 28 now, just turned 28 in January. Started my time off at a very fast-paced, aggressive mainline sewer line installation company, sewer line, storm, water systems, all that shit. Started completely green at 19, didn't know a thing about what I was doing, just got through into the wolves' den. Slowly made my way kind of up to where I crested at being one of the better people there, putting pipe in. Learned a ton, got molded a ton by the dudes I was around in the aggressive workforce. 7 years of that, and I got my back broken at work, putting a sewer lateral in. That put me on my ass for about a month without being able to do anything except stare at the TV, the wall, or limp to the bathroom. So that gave me plenty of time to think about all the narrow escapes, the sketchy shit that I would do on a daily basis. And to have that happen to me doing something where I was fully assured, safe, nothing could have happened, and then that happened, and I got my back broken. Insight on that, you got hit with a frozen chunk of rock and ice in the middle of February out of the stone box. No one's seen it until it was too late. Hit me right above my tailbone, fractured my L5. So I guess there's not much you can do for those, except the doctor said just don't do anything that hurts, but everything hurt. So couldn't do anything. But yeah, no, waited that month and started my construction venture on my own, my entrepreneurship with a business partner.
What made you want to do that? Like, what made you want to not go back to work and do that yourself after making, I can imagine, a pretty good amount of money working?
Yeah, dude. Where I came from, it was all prevailing wage work. Like, it was 40 plus an hour, no matter what, 4 10-hour plus days a week, 3-day weekends. Like, it was a good setup, but it was aggressive. It was fast paced. You're driving no less than 40 minutes to work every day. Like, if you get a under hour drive to work, that was great. So you're traveling a lot. Yeah, I guess mainly when I said about all the sketchy situations I'd be in on a daily basis, and then for that to happen to me in a perfectly safe situation, that kind of, the years of me blocking that out, like, oh, well, yeah, so what, that whole wall, like, shifted in. I knew it was going to do it. That's why I didn't walk out there. Or being able to call situations, and sooner or later you're like, man, I've done this a lot of times. Like, is it going to bite me soon? You know what I mean? Like, you just go and go and go and nothing happens. And then finally you're kind of just like, am I asking for it yet? Like, is karma up on my ass? But yeah, no, I guess that was my, that would have been my kind of awakening there when I got my back broken doing something safe. I like to take what the universe gives me and understand and hear it clearly. And I felt that was a very big, like, dude, you got to get out of this. Like, we hurt you not super seriously, but serious enough that if it was up another foot or 2 foot at my neck, like, I might not even be walking. You know what I mean? Like, it was a basketball sized lump of ice and 2B clean stone. But yeah, just sitting, nothing to do except thinking about the ways that I don't want to do this and there's got to be something else. And yeah, like I said, I started with a business partner, and we decided to take what we learned from the company we worked for and put it towards something that we knew how to do. We were used to being on a crew that was very lean when it came to manpower. So just me and him, we knew we could tackle a lot compared to some of the other companies that throw a lot of people at jobs to get them done. Didn't work out. Made it about 6-7 months, and we didn't see eye to eye on a few things. Finances weren't going the way that we wanted, split between the both of us, and I made the call that I was done. And then I started my own business. That September of 21 was when I started Essential Construction, and yeah, I've been rolling with it ever since, man. Learning every day. Restarted a few times with employees, and then back down to me, and then employees, and then back down to me again. And right now it's kind of where I'm hanging out at, as you know. But yeah, just feeling everything out, trying to make the best possible decisions that I can make, trying to leverage my debt, trying to just take all the new things that come with the work, and not just the work as in like the physical stuff, like the being the business owner, being the secretary, like getting all these forms out, DOT stuff, like learning all this stuff, man. It's a lot. You're learning every single day, you know what I mean? And yeah. I don't have a mentor for any of it, so I'm kind of just, I'm really in my element, I guess, and just being thrown into the wolves and figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. How much like, you made a pretty significant amount the first year you started, I can imagine, right? Like,
my own business?
Yeah, after you left your construction company that you were working for before, in your first year starting.
Dude, the finances were so fucked between me and the person I don't want to name. I only ended up leaving that business with $800. And there was a $20,000 job that was completed right before I went and pulled my half of what was in the business account out, because we were 50-50 partners. There was only 800 left. So I don't really know. He was very much in charge of the money aspect of it. I put my trust in him. Obviously, like I said, we learned a lot first year of business and stuff like that. We definitely didn't lose money, but I can't tell you that we came out in this range. Like I said, I really just don't have any idea.
Yeah.
And that was mainly a lot of the reason that separation happened. But my first year on my own, I didn't do nearly as bad as I thought I was going to do. Came out positive, didn't have a ton of debt. It was better than I expected, I will say that.
Yeah, and that's what I think I love about the situation that we're in right now, and the coverage that we're going to be able to give people on this platform, because there's not very many podcasts that I know of personally that talk about people that are going to be successful. You and I are both going to be very successful. I 100% believe that wholeheartedly. And there's actually a story that we're telling that we are anticipating to tell through this video and audio podcast of our growth, where we're currently at now, and where we're going to be at episode 100. You know what I mean? A couple years down the road, or
say everybody's going to be listening to our growth with us. So
yeah,
we're going to be telling you. And again, we may make some mistakes along the way, and you may find out the next episode we made a mistake. But I mean, we're filling you guys in at rate that we're going, doing everything we can to help you guys as much as we're trying to help ourselves.
Yeah,
and that's a cool thing to be able to do, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna gas you up a little bit, dude. The situation that you're in currently through Essential Excavation, your company, after leaving a 6-figure job, more or less, having the balls to quit that job and to say, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to start my own job. I'm going to start my own company. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I just know I'm good at this, and I'm going to just build a clientele and do it because I don't want to do it for someone else. You know, that's the type of feeling that most people have in their life, where they are just the quotes leaving my mind at the moment. Pretty much people that are living mundane lives, wishing they could do something more. You are a testament to someone who actually did that. You know, so that's amazing. And the fact that you are how many years into it now?
21, 22, 23. This is going to be year 3 on my, completely on my own. I'd be about 3.5, 4 if I didn't start with Justin. We started right at the beginning of 21. So
yeah, so just about 4 years into it, after leaving a 6-figure job, you leave and you're still doing it, dude. You're consistently growing compared to your first year. You're making strides. You're making more revenue each year. You know what I mean? You're buying more equipment. You're buying more heavy machinery. You constantly have to talk yourself into if you should or if you shouldn't have employees because you have so much work sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's an incredible testament of your skill level in not just not just in concrete pipe laying and excavation, but also in the business aspect of it as well. You know, I know you're not 100% confident in it, but you're confident enough that you've been doing it for almost 4 years. I mean, most businesses fail after 5 years, and you're growing at year 4. You know what I mean? So that's amazing, dude.
It's cool, dude. It's all that failure is not an option kind of mentality for me. Like when I started everything with Justin, I was scared, but dude, I came off of workers' comp. I called my company and was like, hey, you guys don't have to pay it anymore. I'm not coming back. And that's kind of how I ended it. And me and him were going to estimates while I could barely walk yet. Like I was telling everybody I was fine. I just pulled something in my back. And I was going out and looking at fucking concrete jobs with a broken back, yet hobbling the homeowners, walking slow with me and shit. Mm-hmm. Dude, it was just, once I knew I made that decision, I almost felt like I had something to prove to everybody, because obviously people are going to be like, oh man, like you said, he left a 6-figure job working 4 days a week, 3-day weekends. Like, what an idiot. You know what I mean? And I knew I could do it as good, if not better, than I would staying at that job and putting myself in harm's way and putting myself in all these terrible situations every day where I'm uncomfortable or I'm soaking wet or I'm soaked in sewer water. Just like, not the money's good, but the situation isn't. And
Yeah.
sooner or later, the money allure fades if you're in a shitty enough position. And I knew what the company wanted to get out of me too. They wanted like 5 more years than what I was told before I'd get into a machine. And
Yeah.
the owner slipped up and said that the one day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you think you're gonna get 5 more years out of me doing this shit?"
Yeah.
No, you're not. Something's gonna, either I'm gonna make you decide or I'm gonna decide. So that was another thing that kind of aided in me like making the jump. But dude, I couldn't tell you how many people were like, "You what?" Like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. But
Yeah.
I made a decision, and I knew like, okay, well, this is what we're doing now. Like,
Yeah.
sink or swim.
Yeah. And you're absolutely succeeding in it, dude. Even though sometimes you feel as if you're failing, that's all part of business itself, dude. There are some times where I'm working on real estate and I'm spending a significant amount. Like currently I'm spending a lot of money on the hillside apartments because the units were kind of in shambles to a sense. You know, a lot of them had tenants that were paying way below market value, and rightly so, because their units sucked. You know, they were living in harsh environments. A lot of them vacated, so we're putting money into this building now and fully renovating a lot. Like we spent $15,000 on a 1-bedroom house, like a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And I'm putting a bunch of money into it, and I feel as if it's like it's obviously a positive because I'm increasing the equity in the building, and I'm ultimately increasing the cash flow and the return on investment, so on and so forth. But I feel in the immediate moment, I feel like I'm failing because I'm like, dude, I'm fucking spending so much money. Like when I'm looking at my net operating income for the whole building, I'm fucking losing money each month, dude. It sucks, you know?
Yeah.
But this is the position that I'm at. This is the obstacle that I'm facing, and I have to do this stuff. You know, that's the whole point of getting a building of this stature for the price that I paid for it. It needs work, you know, and it's something that I'm prepared for, and it's just needed. And that's kind of the situation that I'm in. And I feel like sometimes that's kind of the situation that you're in a sense, you know. You feel as if maybe you're on the off season, you're not working as much, or this, that, and the other. You know, you just have to look at your year end each year and find out the difference between both years and notice that you're increasing each year. Like you're obviously doing something right, obviously tweak things.
Yeah.
Go bigger, you know, 10x that whole situation, try to get as big as you possibly can, push as much as you can within reason. You know, you don't want to stretch yourself too thin, but you're going to see it continuously each year, guaranteed.
Yeah, and dude, it's another weird thing you got to think about. Like this year, just for instance, I got railed with taxes more than what my quarterly payments were. So like I had to pay an extra $11,000 at the end of the year I wasn't anticipating. And I got that Peterbilt. Didn't anticipate that being $2,200 a year in fucking insurance. So that was another thing added on to all my other shit. So like even if you're growing as a business, I guess what I'm trying to say is even if you're growing as a business, you feel like you're not making money, but like you said, you got to look at that year to date end, what you actually made, because at least for me, come the new year, at the beginning, I get railed with like all the initial payments that I pay up front. And it makes me feel like once all those are done, like, oh shit, I didn't have anything. You know what I mean?
Another thing too is don't look at your revenue each year, because revenue's for the ego and cash flow and net profit is for the family, you know?
Yeah.
So don't look at, okay, well, I made this much in revenue last year and this much revenue end of 2023. You know, don't look at it like that. Look at, you know, after expenses, taxes, you know, repairs, everything, the take home.
Yep.
And if you don't have a process of figuring that out, that's something that I would recommend that you do, you know, because at the end of the year, when I do my taxes, I could see how much I made, how much I actually took home out of everything, all said and done, how much money that I make that year. And it's a good measuring point to figure out how you're progressing, you know?
Yeah. I used to do 30% of every dollar that came in. And then talking with my tax guy, when I like I said, I'm only 3.5 years in on my own. So year one, I didn't do quarterly taxes because I didn't really know how to run a business or do anything. I was figuring out. Year two, got my first year under my belt, and then we got quarterly taxes set up. And thankfully, I far surpassed what I was going to be paying in quarterly taxes. You know what I mean? So that's why I had to, for this year, for this year, I had to pay in a little bit, which it's a good problem to have, I guess. But we adjusted my payments for this year coming up, so I should be right within my realm. I seem to be growing about 20 grand a year. That seems to be the trend of like what I make extra each year.
That's crazy, dude. In revenue or in?
Yeah, in total. So like the first year I did $209,000 of work, and then the second year I did, I think like 230,000, something like that. And then this past year I was up at like 256.
Oh wow.
So, and that's not take home. That's gross, like how much I charged for all of my jobs
total
before
revenue.
Yeah, before everything.
Yeah.
So that's I can't remember my take home off the bat. I think it was a little bit over 100,000. But
amazing.
70K in fucking equipment and repairs. Like this past year really railed me with that. You know what I mean? And that's where making sure you're not just skimming by is so crucial in any sort of business that you go into. You need to put that money back, dude. Because if I didn't have extra funds and like extra sitting there to be able to fix my shit as it broke, it would have been a really rough year for me. I'd have had to figure a lot of stuff out. But luckily, issue happened. You go and get it taken care of. Mine is a stupid dump truck.
Yeah. Yeah,
that thing's a freaking basket case in itself. But that's getting taken care of here shortly.
Yeah. So that's pretty much like what the podcast is going to be about, man. We talk about the current situation that we're in, what obstacles we're facing, whether that be at home, whether that be through the business, whether that be through taxes, whether that be through a customer or a tenant that may not be the most delightful person to talk to. There's ways of kind of going through all those, and this is a great platform to talk about those things. And we're growing, and we're talking about our story as we're progressing, which I think is very important. It's hard to relate to some people, and I think some of the viewers can agree to this. It's hard to relate to people when they're at the top talking about their successes of the past, or their current successes. It's like, I understand, like, hey, when I was young, I did this, I did that. I did a lot of manual intensive jobs, and I made enough money to do this. And it's great to...
The overview.
It's great to talk about that in hindsight,
Yeah.
But it's always someone who's like fucking super like, dude, they're driving Lamborghinis, Maseratis, and I love that, and I want to be there. But there's a different perspective when people are listening to people that are, and I'm guaranteeing you this, I say it with as much conviction as I possibly can, that are going to be there. Mm-hmm. We are going to be at a point where I'm on a sailboat hanging out, dude. I'm relaxing, and I'm just not there yet. Yeah. And I guarantee you I'm going to be there. And this is more like a documentation of how we're going to be at the points that we want to be in our life. And I think a lot of viewers can respect that, and they're going to push us to be the best people we possibly can. So, and then also soon enough, we're going to be having, which may not be on this episode. Maybe we'll have it like linked somewhere in the bottom or something, but we're going to have an email address that you can shoot us emails. Ideally on Spotify and Apple Play, we're going to have the ability to have comments, and we would like to have people share and like the videos just because it gives us some feedback, because we don't really know what we're doing,
Yeah.
So
this is just another venture that we are passionate about. We're trying to put our utmost effort into. We genuinely want to help. We're not doing this for clout. We're not doing this for notoriety. None of that stupid stuff. We're doing this to help the people in the shoes that we were in not have to try so hard to get there or get through that step. It's going to be really interesting to hear what you guys want us to talk about. At times, it's going to be really cool to be able to share the personal stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's going to be cool to just be able to share funny stories that we've gone through, situations, and just be able to kind of interact and be able to be interactive with you guys and yeah, just share some cool times, funny stories, and helpful advice.
Yeah, heck, man, if we even get good enough, I told you this downstairs when we were making our drink. If we get enough viewers and enough listeners, I would love to have someone that I genuinely respect, and someone who maybe be a professional or a top tier earner in a specific realm that we find inspiring. Mm-hmm. Sitting next to you and we're talking to him, having him have a mic, or him or her have a mic, and they explain their situation in a closed kind of close situation, how we're talking now. It would be cool, man. I would love to have that become a situation and become a probability in the near future, so I'm excited.
Like you said, we're gonna be successful. We'll get to that point too, dude. We just got to keep pushing, keep our minds to it, and hopefully keep you guys entertained and keep everybody involved, because that's what we're about, man. We want everybody to succeed. We want everybody to just get something from this. We're hoping we're not just doing this for the fun of it, for us. At least I know, coming from both of us, man, we genuinely just want to help. Like, just be the people that we needed or didn't have the access to, I guess, in a weird way. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing is, a lot of people want to pursue something, but they just don't have the guidance to get from point A to point B. So whether that be like, think of anything, I don't know, if they want to become a woodworker, they want to make wood furniture, and they have this idea of wanting to do that, they may not have a champion, top tier woodworking furniture, manufacturer that they could get their information from to know how to get from where they're at now to where they're at, but if they have the ability and the drive, most importantly, to make the attempt, then that's worth something. If they're willing to do that, they'll learn as they progress. But to have a vision or have someone who could teach you along the way really helps. So a lot of the stuff that we talk about may not be so pinpoint on exactly what you're dealing with. It's going to be something that you could listen to, and you could correlate that and apply that to the situation that you're in now, because I feel like the problems and the obstacles that we face, I could imagine more or less could be things that people face on any work that they're trying to pursue,
any job or entrepreneurial venture, they all have the same sort of problems. Mm-hmm. An electrician doesn't have the same as a plumber, as a fucking real estate investor, but money, responsibility, division of time, all the stuff that we're going to be talking about in upcoming episodes, everybody deals with it. Anything that keeps your shit going like a well-oiled machine, there's a thesis behind which part and what does what.
Yeah, one of the biggest skills that I think everyone who decides to pursue literally anything, even if they work a 9-to-5 job, the one skill that people should be able to increase and be a perfectionist at is how to learn to talk to people, how to learn to read people, how to learn to explain a bad situation to someone, how to explain to someone that you're upset, how you're angry, how you wish they were
articulate.
Yeah, being able to articulate your words in a sense where it seems as if you're giving them what you want, like you're giving them what you're trying to explain, but pursuing it in the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially, this is a skill, like if I have a problem tenant that is complaining all the time for a bunch of bullshit that doesn't mean anything, you know what I mean? And they're lucky that they should even be renting in the nice apartment that they're living in, given the amount that they're renting for. it takes every ounce of my fucking soul to not like ream them apart. But there's a way to articulate that and explain to them that the situation, whatever that may be, may or may not. Let's say in this case, it wasn't something that we could personally fix. Maybe I don't know what the examples would be, but some lackadaisical situation that doesn't really mean much in my perspective as an owner.
Yeah.
There's a way of articulating your sentences to kind of explain to them, hey, this is kind of not my responsibility. This is your responsibility. I have a lot of responsibilities as a landlord, but this one that you're complaining about is not. And I appreciate that if you don't mention these things because this is something that's on your personal side, or this something is, this, that.
Yeah.
You're not paying rent. You're paying rent late because you have a personal issue. Like, there's ways to explain it and explain it very directly without being a direct person, and that's a skill that most people don't have. So it's very important to learn that. And it's also really impressive to hear someone like a fucking Michelangelo talking to you, giving you a beautiful steak dinner of a fucking conversation and explaining it perfectly to you. And then you're like, holy fuck, dude. And then you initially come to this guy. Let's say I'm a fucking customer, right?
Yeah.
And I'm coming to you. I'm like, I didn't tell you to do this. You ended up putting way too much concrete in that. I actually didn't even want it like that. I wanted it like this. And now my plants are all fucked up now. And then at the end of it, you talk to them and then they leave like, I paid $100,000 or I paid $1,500 more and I'm happy about it. It's like, how the fuck did Sage get this motherfucker to come at him angry and then leave the conversation happy that he's paying more money? That's a fucking skill that is the cockiest and the coolest skill to have, dude. I envy those people and I try to be the type of person who could do that. And that's 100% a skill that you have to train.
Yeah, dude. That's a very much I feel like that skill only comes from being in that shitty situation of where you're like, well, I gotta walk my way out of this. Dude, I had one guy, did a porch for him. Originally, this is a repeat customer too. So we did a back patio for him, nice wedding cake steps. It looked really good. Wanted me to come back to his front porch. We went over there, we knocked everything out, and the old front porch was actually extended over all the way. The house was like an L. So the front porch ran along the front of it if you looked at it from the road, and the extension came out into the yard. Well, the porch went from like a 3x20 that was stepped down to I believe it ended up being 6x10 that we agreed on and I gave him a price for. He then told me he wanted to add it an extra 4 feet, so 2 on each side, so it was a 6x14 front porch then. Well, there's still dead space that wasn't going to get used to the right of the porch, and I left it go because he told me they were going to be taking care of it, they were going to be doing something with it, so why would I bring topsoil in and do all this extra restoration shit when they said they had plans for it? Well, I went back after we completed the job and wanted to do the once-over with the customer. He comes, oh, yeah, I could tell he's short with me, and I'm like, is everything all right, man? Like, are you happy with it? He goes, yeah, I'm happy with it. He goes, you have in your contract here restoration work after it's done, and what the fuck is this? Like, this looks like shit. You didn't even put topsoil in. You're a professional. You should know. And he starts going off on me, and I'm like, whoa. I was like, hey, like, if you want topsoil in there, that's fine. Like, we'll handle it. But like, you told me that you had plans for this area. Why would I go and put material in there when you're going to be possibly doing something that doesn't involve that material in there, and then you got to move it out? I said, I was just trying to save you a step and be nice. I'm not trying to cut corners. I was like, if you want topsoil, I'll come and bring it tomorrow. But like, what you told me didn't jive with me putting topsoil and restoring an area and putting seed and straw and fertilizer down in an area that you weren't wanting that. So like that's fine. And he's like, oh, okay. And then his tone changes. He's like, well, you don't got to do it tomorrow. It's fine. And I don't give people shit for free. Like, I had topsoil at my house. What is me loading a little bit and taking it over there? But like, I knew him being a repeat customer. I could tell he was genuinely upset because he felt like he got taken advantage of, which is a huge that's not how I want my customers or clients to feel. You know what I mean? I'm a very fair person. And he also was like, and why am I paying this much more money? I'm like, hey, Joe, like, you went from a 6x10 porch to a 6x14. I was like, that's extra material, concrete, everything. I said, I can't just give you that. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I forgot we upped the size. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, don't. And dude, I ended up leaving that house, and I don't know how I did it. I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the steps to fucking maneuvering those situations, but I left his house with him telling me, you just drop it in the front yard, I'll wheelbarrow it back and put it in the area. You don't got to spread the topsoil. Like,
Yeah.
he was pleased as punch that I was just even going to bring him dirt. But I still went over there, brought my wheelbarrow, shoveled a fucking, like, 6 wheelbarrows that it was, spread it around the porch real nice, spread it over that whole area, dressed everything up so it looked fucking beautiful for him.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that is the big difference about someone who wants to do the right thing, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't anticipate that to happen, and
No.
you noticed a repeat customer was upset. The fact that you did that could potentially have given you that customer the opportunity to hire you a third time.
Yeah.
You know, doing those small things to someone, and I think what you did specifically that made it the situation end the way it did was because you were so calm about the situation. You said, hey man, no problem, this is what I understood, and if this is something that you want, there's no problem at all. I just didn't know that, so maybe next time just explain it to me a little bit better so I could understand, and then we won't have to deal with this. And the fact that you said it in that way dropped his guard down. You know, he went from, okay, this guy's gonna fucking yell at me, and I know he's gonna yell at me, so I'm gonna start first, and I'm gonna get angry at him.
Dude, that's how. If there's any contractors listening to me out there, that's the one thing I can 100% tell you that I've learned so far. You just put yourself in your shoes, hiring a random person to come and do a multi-$1,000 job for you, or even if it's a $600 job. You don't want that money. You're not a millionaire. Like, you don't want that money lost any more than your customer does in their eyes. Whether you and them disagree on that, you still don't want them leaving thinking they got taken advantage of. They always think they're going to be getting taken advantage of, dude. They always think whoever, and that's because of all these fucking Facebook weekend warrior people and people that go and just buy a truck and a dump trailer and go out on the weekends and fuck shit up because they work at a construction company and they think they can do it on the side and everything else. I mean, I'm not saying every one of the people that do that is bad, but there are a lot of people out there that don't give a good name to people that are trying to actually, like, be genuine people and do a good quality job.
Yeah, man, that's a skill, dude. And for someone who may not have been as experienced as you, they'll take their threatening tone and they will assume that you're attacking them. They're attacking you, and then you're going to assume that they're attacking you, and then your gut reaction, because you don't know how to relax a conversation or to de-energize a situation, I guess you'd say.
Just to mediate it, I guess.
Yeah, they were going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to get angry back at you now. I'm going to yell at you. If you want to get loud, I'm going to get loud, you know? And then you lost the customer. Then you may have a potential situation where the person's going to want to go to court for this, that, and the other. It's just way more difficult, dude. Just get good at speaking to people. Learn how to speak to people. There's a great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. A great book. It teaches you tactics on how to get people to say yes to you. If you're a good person, you wouldn't be using it for anything malicious, but that's a great book to have, dude. And that's exactly what the book is about, you know, how to win friends and how to influence people. So how to influence people to think that you are the perfect person for the job, how to influence people to purchase from you, to use your company over the competitor. Learning to articulate your words in a way that seem professional and straightforward and respectable is a skill that I think most people should really pursue, you know?
Dude, it's a make or break. As soon as you cross the threshold of, if you're in a conversation with somebody, it starts going south and mean shit starts coming out, dude, or like very disrespectful. It starts getting disrespectful. I feel like the second the animosity kicks in, pride also kicks in on both sides. So the homeowner doesn't want to be wrong and look like an idiot because you're at their home doing something that they're going to be paying you for. So customer's always right mentality. Whereas the contractor too, you come out, you're pissed because hopefully you're trying to do the right thing and maybe the homeowner's being difficult or whatever. If you let it get to that point where people aren't happy liking what the other person has to say and it starts becoming like an argument or anything like that, you basically probably already lost that situation. You got to really work to keep it in that everybody's neutral, everybody's still listening without much bias.
Yeah.
Toned down environment.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. It's also so unprofessional to be yelling at like your fucking customer, dude.
Dude, I've seen
like,
a couple contractors do that and I'm just like, oh.
Dude, like they're never buying anything from you again. They're telling their brother, their sister, their friends, their family how not to use you ever again.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a shitty thing to say, but I feel like if you do a good job, a really good job, you get less people talking about it rather than if you're doing a bad job. Dude, if you do a shitty job and you get into an argument with this person and it becomes a whole war, they're going to tell more people that you did them wrong than if you would have done them good. But you still want to do people good. It's just in their best interest. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. You know, like, what are some other interesting facts that you may have that may be interesting just for people to as they get started in their company? Like, what's one thing that if you could rewind time, you go back and kind of beef up one stat you could say, like if you're looking at a video game and you know you're a fucking NPC and it's like work ethic, and then it's like explanation,
time management.
You would say time management.
If I could, I would put, if you could have five notches in the time management slot as well as all the other ones, I would have 4 of them in there and then worry about the rest.
Really?
Yeah, because
like organization,
being able to manage what you like, understanding how long things take, being confident in the decisions you make because you're aware and familiar with the time. Like, dude, time is everything. Time is money. Time is time. Time is worth its weight in gold. You know what I mean? So if you can master your time, perfect example is Rob Dyrdek. Like, that dude has the most crazy schedule. He does like fucking 50 million things in a day, but he still makes sure he has time to go home and be with his family, and he allots time for them. But he's also working on like millions of dollars of other side hustle shit from like 3 different avenues. But he has his days so well structured that none of it like drains him. He's like, I do this from this and this to this and this and this. And that's something I'm very much still learning every single day and trying to master and get better at. But if there was something that could have helped me drastically, and I don't even think it would have been to make more money, maybe a little bit, it would have been to be able to not be gone as much. Because ultimately the goal with any entrepreneur is to be able to be with the people they want to be with more than what they would be if they worked a regular job, or have the flexibility or the ability to do the things that you would be limited and never be able to do at a normal job.
Yeah,
or
have the freedom.
Yeah, or at a normal lifestyle. Yeah. Your goal is to make it so that the thing runs itself, or it has to run less. So like, I guess for me, in my instance with my plan, you know, viewers, I intend on doing my construction business to aggressively build my cash flow so that I can get properties as well and join you in the rental property, Airbnb. The lady has a whole bunch of ideas that she wants to dive into, but the real estate avenue is the main rental, flip, whatever it may be. Still deciding, weighing stuff out when it comes to that, but yeah, basically once I get enough properties that I don't have to work as much and have to have my business supporting me as much as it does now, I want to be there for my kids, dude. I want to I want to be able to see them get off the bus, because 4 days out of the week I made sure I was home in time, and there was one late day where I had to run equipment or do something stupid like that. So be it. But like, to get to the point where I have $6,000 a month coming in, dude, then I don't have to work every week. Like, I could work 1 week all week and make fun money for me and my family to go on a vacation, or to take my son or my daughter to go get that cool toy they want. You know what I mean? It's just setting myself up as much as I can to be able to provide for my family and give them the life they want. I think honestly at this point, dude, I want to be able to give my family the life that they want more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I think when you say 6,000, that's a low number, dude.
It was just a
just
a ballpark spitball number, just to kind of get the.
Just imagine 15,000 a month, 20,000 net a month, dude.
That's what I mean, dude. Like the construction
dumb
stuff, I'd be like, dude, I just want to buy a new dirt bike this month. I'll go knock out two pad jobs. You know what I mean? I'll just buy a dirt bike cash then.
Yeah. What if you have a fully paid off house, no mortgage, no debt? The only debt is real estate debt, right? "Quote unquote" good debt.
Yep.
Dave Ramsey, don't fuck me up, dude, because Dave Ramsey does not like the idea of any debt. But I definitely think real estate's good debt because it's making you money.
Yeah.
Now in this perspective, you're making 20,000 a month, dude, net. Like, what do you do with that, dude? You know what I mean? Like, your house is paid off. You have no debt except real estate debt. You're making 20,000 a month. At the end, that's your money, dude. After you pay your contractor to renovate your houses, to do that, to your taxes, vacancy rate, this, that, and the other, 20,000, dude, per month. Next month you're getting another 20,000, and then maybe you're gonna be looking at a 30 unit, in the next couple months.
Dude,
like,
I guarantee the average person has that situation, and they don't know what to do with themselves. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, even like being at the level I'm at now, 3.5 years in, whatever, I live a completely different life than I did at Dolly, but it's ironically, I'm making more money, but I'm living more reserved. And like, every time I do better, it doesn't feel real. Like, every time I know, like, oh, I'm at a better spot than what I was at. And like, I don't know how to explain it, dude. It just feels, it feels like it's not real yet.
Yeah,
like, it still feels like, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Like, it still feels like somebody's going to rip the rug right out from under my feet and be like, no, that was a sample.
That was a free trial, dude.
Yeah.
You don't really have that.
Yeah. Do you think you did this?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. It just still feels like that's going to get taken from me. But like, to be in a situation where I'm getting $20K a month, dude, like, I'd be like, where is he at? Where's he coming from? I know he's gonna fucking rob me here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I out of all people, dude, I want you to experience that, dude. You know what I mean? And the only thing that you're fighting against is time. You want to start as soon as possible, because you don't want to be the person who's 35 years old. I don't want to say 35, because there's a lot of people that are probably that age. I'm going to say, like, you don't want to be the person that's like 55, 50 years old saying, all right, I'm going to start real estate now. It's like, you're going to have to work for 10 years, and then, you're going to be 65. It's like, I don't know. Like, I'd rather you just start as early as possible, get 10, 15 years in, dude. You got, with me and with Carlos and us pushing you to really, with construction, it's one thing, because with construction, you don't really have like a mentor. With real estate, you're going to have people that are literally going to be like, yes, do that, but make sure you deduct this, okay, yes, okay. And like, we'll make it fucking fail-proof.
Bulletproof, dude.
Yeah. So your progression with Carlos, his progression, let's say, was 30%, 40% progression. Me, 50% progression, right? You, now that you have us two, it's going to be like 60% progression. You're going to progress so fast that you're going to be like, holy fuck, dude, why did I just
have to be able to make the capital to keep up with your guys' advice.
Yeah. Well, you start off small, man. It's hard to compare yourself with people that are like, 50, 60, 70, some people 200 units, it's a lot of fucking units, and you're at one unit. It's hard. You're kind of comparing stuff, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to compare your today with someone's yesterday or whatever the fuck the quote is. But just know that you're going to be on the fast track.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's exciting, and dude, I took your advice when we first started hanging out again after high school. That was probably the best thing to have had happen to me in the friend group, because I wasn't hanging out with anybody. It was just me and Sam. You and Keith found me out of some random instance at fucking Infinitos with some doppelganger of mine.
Yep.
It's crazy how it happened. It's crazy how it happened, dude. But like, once we started hanging out again and talking, and I heard what you had to say about finances and what the route you're going, and you weren't like telling me this is what I should do if I'm smart or anything. You were just simply sharing knowledge with me. And for me, in those couple years, to have gotten rid of all my debt minus like one credit card that I use just for the points, to Sam almost being completely out of debt minus like our house and my business stuff, and now to have been making more money than I ever thought that, like, to have more in my bank account at the end of the year than I heard my dad like ever had in his account at one time over his years of living. Like, it's fucking nuts to me. And like, I'm just working, like I'm just doing shit not for somebody, for myself, and it's just happening, man. Like, it's just a fucking crazy thing to have pulled the trigger on and just watch it play out.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, it still doesn't feel real. It still feels like somebody's gonna take it.
Yeah.
So
that's good, man. We'll never find out who that person was at Infinitos, but
it's all right. He can stay there.
He could stay omnificent, just a face in the crowd, dude.
Yeah. I don't need anybody impersonating me.
But he was the catalyst to our friendship, man. So that's pretty interesting. He's important in some respect. But yeah, man, that's the goal with you. I don't have anyone that has started to pursue real estate yet. I have some people that are close, but no one really made the jump, dude, because even though it's not a difficult jump in hindsight, in the present moment, it's crazy to think about that. You'd be buying another home to rent. It's just, for some people, it doesn't compute, and they're like, I don't want to fucking do that. Like, they don't want to do it. You know what I mean? But you don't compare yourself on just one unit. You compare yourself after a couple years where you have 10, 15, 20 units, dude. Then you'll start looking at the numbers at the end of the year, and you're like, holy fuck, dude, this is incredible. Like, this is over retirement. Mm-hmm. Like, I could fucking not work. If I really wanted to, I could just not work. I could just fucking do this.
Dude, half the people in retirement that I hear, they're only getting like $3,000 a month.
$3,000 to $4,500, I think.
That's probably, that's pretty good. Like, that's if you made it your whole fucking life without pulling anything or doing anything with your retirement, right? Like,
that's if you're working $4,500, dude. That's like you've
been working since you were 4 or 5.
Yeah, and you got a good job. Yeah.
All right. He put his dues in.
Dude, I like to think about this stuff because it motivates me. But like, how incredible would it be if you, let's say, meet with let's say you and I meet with another couple, 2 couples, right? And we're having dinner. Alyssa, Sam, me, you. We're talking. We're having a couple drinks. We're talking. We kind of get a little bit loose, and they ask a question like, "Hey, what do you guys do for a living?" And we go, "Oh yeah, we're retired."
What?
I'm sorry. Do you play football?
Yeah.
No.
Were you athletic? Yeah. Sorta.
Oh my god, dude.
My body actually just doesn't work anymore.
Oh, do you make Social Security? No. We just we retired early. Yeah, that would be incredible, dude. And that shit motivates the fuck out of me. Like, it motivates me because, like, most people say, like, oh, you don't want other people's
you're not doing it for other people's approval and shit.
Yeah, and I'm not, dude, but I love to think about those small instances and be like, dude, that'd be fucking great to say.
Dude, that's like literally just looking at somebody and being like, checkmate.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, and they go, and they just shut down. They're like, They don't want to see anything after
He's
that.
retired. He doesn't know about. I can't relate to him about work or.
Yeah, dude.
But
And then like Sam and Alyssa are just sitting there like just like
what
laughing.
do you ladies do?
Yeah.
Keep everything tidy.
Yeah, like we help them and we do, and they're like, help you with fucking what? What do you guys help with? Help with what?
Sometimes we got to remodel the units.
Yeah, like we like to get their opinion on certain things, and they do a really good job at helping explain certain layouts that we're not very good at. And they're like, layouts for what? What the fuck? Layouts for what? And they're like, oh yeah, and then we have to explain it to them, and they're like, oh my god, dude, what the fuck? And then it's just a great feeling just to say, oh yeah, I'm retired, dude. That's such a stupid fucking crazy word to say to someone.
I never even said that. That's almost like a positive affirmation. Like, I started a construction company, and I went into real estate once I built enough capital, and now I'm retired.
It's a weird thing to say, huh?
Yeah, that sentence hasn't came out before. I haven't thought about it to a point where I spoke it. But yeah, dude, I started an excavation and concrete company, and then got into real estate, and now I just hang out at my real estate.
Yeah. My boy's got a football game tomorrow. I'm gonna watch him play.
Can surprise him with a new dirt bike. He's been talking about it.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll go to the lake house or something afterwards. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And they're like, fucking, people don't know how to they don't know how to respond to that. You know what I mean? They don't get it. And I want to do that. And I 100% want to do that.
That's cool, dude. I haven't thought about it like that yet. That's a cool thing to.
And they go, oh, how old are you? And you're, let's say
38.
I'm 38. Dude, that would be so dumb to say, dude. Or like you're at a comedy club and they're like, hey, how's the crowd looking tonight? You, sir, in the black shirt, what do you do for a living? And you go, I'm retired. And they, all right, we got a rich boy in here.
Yeah.
I got daddy's money, and you're like, yeah.
Probably sold some fucking Bitcoin.
Yeah, and you just don't say anything. You just go, yeah, and you clap.
Yeah.
And they don't need to know anything. You know what I mean? He gives a fuck.
Did you hear him? He's a retard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, man, but
those are damn, dude. You got me thinking now. That's cool. That's cool to think about it that way.
Yeah.
I got to start thinking about it a little bit more that way because that was
Yeah.
I did some stuff and
yeah.
now I'm here,
Yeah. And then you shush it off, dude.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, so anyway, what's the next drink going to be? Like, babe, what do you think? And then they're just like, hold fucking rewind, because I'm still talking about this, and you're talking about this fucking drink right now. I'm talking about what the fuck what you just said to me.
Yeah, I know I didn't hear you right.
Yeah, it's a great idea to think about, and it pushes me to want to buy more real estate, to work on the rentals more, be more aggressive, and push myself while I'm still young. And like we talked about earlier today, give ourselves little honey holes to drop into, fun times to do things, because we deserve to have a little bit of fun after all the hard work we have. But, in moderation. You don't want to go too crazy, and you want to do it with the people you love and the people you want to hang out with. And, do that because it gives you a little bit of a reset to continue to push, Yeah,
you got to have those constant reminders.
Yeah.
It's tough once you get going, I feel like it's good. Get yourself a lady who reminds you about that stuff, because if you're a solo dude and you're driven and you're grinding, I feel like you can put your head down for quite a while before you come up and you're like, maybe I'll do something cool for myself. Yeah. I feel like it'd be very easy to fall victim to your own insanity and fucking push and just push and just push.
Yeah. I heard this from a lot of other people, but the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with is one of the most important decisions that you could possibly have, dude. You don't want to have someone who's like nagging and bitching at you, telling you should come home early, and I don't know why you're working yourself too hard. That shit's not going to work out anyway. Like, just work here. My uncle's got a job doing this. Just do that. It's easier. Those people are toxic, dude. They're fucking the viruses. They're a computer virus in the physical world, dude. Get those people the fuck out of your life, especially if it's someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with.
A leech.
Dude, I'm so thankful for the people that I have in my life, dude. They give me like the most confidence, dude. I get gassed up sometimes and I have to kind of put myself in check, but they're willing to push with me. They're willing to help any way they can. When I bought my first 2-unit, I was still very young, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, God bless her, dude, she fucking helped me lift up a refrigerator and put it up to a second floor apartment. No one else wanted to come, dude. Everyone was busy. So this woman, she got that Italian fucking Sicilian strength in her, dude. She was she was on the bottom too, dude. She wasn't on the top.
Holy fuck.
I missed the fucking calculation of me going up the stairs first, but pretty much she was on the bottom, and I got to the steps and to the door, and the door was locked. And I'm like, I gotta go and I gotta get in from the back. This is when the unit was vacant. And she goes, okay. And she had her shoulder against the wall, and then she had the refrigerator, dude, a fucking full-size black refrigerator. She goes, all right, go. I'm like, go? and then I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, are you comfortable? She had her foot like a couple steps up, propped on her knees. She was holding that thing. And I was like, okay. And then I ran up back around the building, went up the emergency staircase. And I got in, and then I came in, and then I was able to. That woman held it the whole time, dude. You know what I mean? So I'm just so thankful for people like that, because those are the people you want to have around. You don't want to have people like, I'm not helping you, paying me. Like, I paid $40. I gotta, It's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, this is the first time I'm asking you to help me. You want to get into real estate, and I'm asking you to help move a refrigerator, and all of a sudden you want me to pay you. It's like, you're not getting nothing out of me now. You know what I mean? That's fucking ignorant.
Dude, I have to go with that. There's this one dude I deal with. He's been asking me if like I want to do work. He's a GC. He does his own type of thing. The one time I asked him, general contractor. Okay. He'll like get people to do the tasks. Like if he's overseeing the building of a property, he'll get dudes to do the concrete work. He'll get dudes to do the drywall. He'll get dudes to do the painting. Gotcha. Like, you know what I mean? But he makes commission off all of it because he's like the fucking general. He's GC. He's general contractor. He organizes it. But I asked him to help me do concrete one day, and he asked me, he goes, what's it paying? And I was like, dude, bad question, but like I give everybody, like, if you're helping me under the table, whatever. Fuck you, IRS, but like, if you're helping me under
IRS, dude, we love them.
Yeah, if you're helping me under the table that I then pay taxes for, it's like hypothetically speaking. Yeah, hypothetically in this hypothetical situation.
Okay.
The people that hypothetically help me, on these hypothetical jobs, it's like $25 an hour, dude. Like, especially if I'm not confident with your work, like I'm putting my ass on the table trying to do these jobs, and I definitely don't need somebody there that's gonna fucking have me have to just fix shit. So obviously, as performance is shown, I'll pay more depending on your work, but like everybody starts out at 25. I'm not starting you out at fucking $18 an hour like that. I'm not. I'm trying to be fair to both of us, especially if it's not somebody who wants to be on the books. Hypothetically. But yeah, dude, he asked me what that was, and I was like, yeah, this much. And he goes, oof, you ain't going to find me out there doing it for that cheap. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, I pay my guys this much a day, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, that's fantastic, dude. Like, great. And then he hit me up the other day. And he's like, hey, do you think you could come out and dig this little area out for me?
What do you say?
And I was like, yeah, dude, no problem. I was like, what are we looking at? He's like, it's like 10 feet. You know what I mean? Need it like 3 foot down, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, dude, yeah, sounds good. I said, I'll do it for $500, which is fucking dirt cheap for me to haul my excavator out there and do it. And he's like, yeah, it's really small. It should take you like 10 minutes. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, dude, if you're going to pay me cash, like, you threw a lot of jobs my way, you know what I mean? I never heard back about any of them, but you at least asked. I'm very willing to work with people, but I was like, I'll do it for $375. Never heard back from him.
What do you want you to do it for? Fucking $25?
That's what I mean. Like, go rent the fucking machine for $225. Go pick it up. Go fucking drive it back when you're done. Go fill it with fuel. Go do all that shit. If you wanted me to come out, dude, like, my fucking day rate is $1,500 with my 35. Like, if I'm out there doing work for the full day, or even like 3/4 of the day, it's $1,500. Like, I'm not fucking driving out with my 30 $1,000 in excavator and trailer, and then another $20,000 of truck when I have my Cummins, and fucking doing stuff for $20 an hour. Like, it's not happening, dude.
Yeah, no.
Like, you wanted to Jew me and nickel and dime me about me having you come out and fucking help me do easy-ass concrete flat work. But then when I'm hauling my thousands of dollars of machine out to save you a little bit of time and headache, you don't even get back to me about it. I was just like, okay, I see how it is. You want to fucking nickel and dime my pricing, but you don't want me to come and help you for a reasonable price.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you kind of get what you give in those situations, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you're going to, you know, you could say that you're not into getting paid $25 an hour, but just say it in a way that's not being like a dickhead, you know what I mean?
It was very dickish how he said it, and I'm very big on that shit.
What's it paying? Like, dude, just be like, hey, man, how much are you paying? Like, you could ask questions, just don't be, what's it paying? Like,
hey, man, I have a day rate that I need to get if I'm going to be taking my time away from my business. What are you offering? But maybe that's me being sensitive, dude. But I take it as like a respect thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, you want to build relationships with these people. You can't be a dickhead to the people that you would ultimately be working with. You know what I mean? But, dude, life's a game of chess. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you're befriending people that you may, as shitty as this sounds, befriending people that you are going to have to ultimately work with at some point, you know?
Yeah.
You want to befriend your neighbors that you live around because you live around them.
You just want peace.
You want peace. You want quiet. You want people to understand you if you have a couple friends over. So you might listen to fucking Nancy's 25-minute story about her fucking stepson, how he went to Yale. You know what I mean? You don't give a fuck, but you're gonna do it anyway because you're gonna get on Nancy's good side. Next time you need to talk to Nancy about something, you know, she lives right next to you. If you wanted to make that wide turn to get into your driveway and you rough up her little bit of her grass, she's not gonna be up too upset because you listen to fucking her Jonathan story. You know what I mean? But that correlates to anything, you know, and it definitely correlates to work. So, you know, you want to make sure that you're kind of picking and choosing your battles correctly. And a lot of people choose aggression 9 times out of 10, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then ignorance the other 1 out of 10. And that's not a way of operating your life in a very strategic way, you know? And then those people wonder why they're not being pushed down the right path or being as successful as they think they're going to be.
Yeah. Dude, if you have an unhealthy habit of responding a certain way, or like anger or getting flustered or getting wrapped up in just being a dickhead or whatever, if you feel weird because you changed up how you're responding to people and it doesn't feel normal to you, that's probably a good thing. That's something that I learned because obviously my dad and my whole family, everybody was like, oh, the Mulholland temper. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something everybody just has. They're all fucking flip of a switch, like, we're on now. Like, you're getting yelled at. And you grow up only seeing that. And the fucked up thing is, dude, it works a lot of the time. Like, people don't want to help you, and then you voice you're fucking pissed off about it or whatever. And then they're like, all right, fine, you're serious about it. Like, we'll help you. We'll deal with you then. But, like, when you stop only responding in an assertive, angry, forceful way and you try and actually work through something, it feels weird the first couple of times. Like, at least for me, dude, it was like, wait a second. This isn't usually how this goes. Like, there's usually a lot more tension. There's usually a lot more this. So, like, it's almost a weird thing to kind of fade out of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because it's something that you're pursuing that's different than what you normally do. Being uncomfortable about something is going to be exactly that. It's going to be uncomfortable. So, you know, when you pursue something that you know is going to be a better outlet of getting a situation solved, maybe different than the way that you would typically do it, it's going to feel new. And that newness, the newness of it, is going to cause a little bit of uncertainty. But once you do it enough times, you start getting good at it. And then you realize that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah, once you feel that you're in that wait a second, this isn't usually how things go or whatever, I think that's the best spot to be in. That's the feeling to look for. That's the spot to kind of put yourself. Yeah.
Great example of that is like when I have tenants, we give a tenant 5-day grace period. And after the 5-day grace period, we'll give them a 10-day notice to quit, which means, hey, you have 10 business days to pay the rent. And if you don't, I mean, with the late fee, and if you don't, then we're going to start the eviction. Mm-hmm. And that's because you signed the lease, and that's what the lease says. And we're just enforcing what the lease says. And you'll get tenants that will pay the first 2 months on time, and then the third month they'll pay, on the 5th of the month. You send out these reminder text messages, and they'll respond and say, personal issue happened, like they're calling off work. Personal issue happened, can't pay rent until the 18th. And then I'll be like, okay, hey, that's fine. We're going to send you out the 10-day notice to quit tomorrow at the end of the day. And you have 10 days to pay for it. After those 10 days, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to proceed further with the eviction process through the district justice office. And that's just something that we have to do. And they don't expect the way that you say it to be so ill-tempered.
Yeah.
To be so not tempered at all,
Yeah.
And then they will then respond with, okay. They'll be like, okay. And then you then pursue that. You give them the 10-day notice. Dude, they fucking talk. They message you immediately. They're like, hey, once they know you're serious, and you're not yelling at them, you're not fucking getting angry at them, you're not cursing them out. You're just saying, hey, this is how it is. This is the lease that you signed. After that, they pay the rent on time. And it's just, there's good ways of pushing your power on someone without seeming as if you're disrespecting them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it kind of falls under, again, how to speak to people. And that's kind of a skill, man. That's a skill, and you want to get good at that. And that's a fucking cocky thing to have, So yeah, man. What else? That's it, man. That's it, or what?
I think that's it, dude. They know about us. They know what we're about, what we're going to try and do to help, what we're going to be portraying. Shared some funny, insightful little things about us and what we've dealt with throughout our entrepreneurial career so far. Yeah, hopefully this gave people a good idea as to what they're in for the next couple episodes and for the entirety of the show, really.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who's listened to this. I know this is our first one, and I'm excited that you guys are interested, and I hope that we don't disappoint as we move forward with our podcast episodes. We'll ideally have one come out once a week, every week, and we're going to be as consistent as we possibly can. I promise you we'll be pretty consistent for the most part. Mm-hmm. If we get more traction, if you guys like it, we'll maybe do some extra stuff. We'll see how it all works out. And until this point, I know this is our first episode, but I appreciate everyone that is listening, and I hope you guys enjoy the Dig Deep podcast.
Yeah, heck yeah, dig deep, everybody.
Dig deep. See you guys later.